Welcome to the channel. Now, as you can see, I've got some different lines up here. This is the other trading strategy. This is live, real-time data. I guess you want to call it that. So what I wanted to do right here, right now, and the reason why I initiated this one, just to show you guys, I think I'm going to back this up a little bit so that I can point it out a little bit better. I'm not going to get into what these lines are just right now. This is the other trading strategy that I use. We can see that price is moving up, right? And we can obviously see that price is really moving up. Currently, time is 3:19 Eastern Standard Time. And we can see that this is like a really big push up. What I want to try and show you right now is that these two, the orange and the white line, are the same SMAs as on the other trading strategy. Okay, so our oranges are a little bit quicker on the longer term, and that is the 28. The white is a 35 SMA. The price is really, really moving up, so it's going to. Actually, you know what? This just may work well just to save you some hassles. Now it has moved up quite a bit, and yes, there would have been some money to be made from this, but it's still a trade that I would not have taken. And you can see I'm not in a trade at all. Like there's no trade marked or nothing. Because until this orange line crosses over the white, I don't initiate a trade on a buy. You don't. Now, what's more than likely going to happen, I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. Right, as this orange line crosses the white, this will probably drop. And then what I look for is, and as price drops, these are going to cross over at some point and then come down. With the orange, once the orange is above the white line, I look for that cross back up. That's where you initiate a trade. And I can actually click over to my other layout and show you. Scrunch this down a bit. See, these are both the same. I mean, it could be white, could be purple, could be pink, could be whatever color you want. But these two lines are the same as the orange and white one on the other trading strategy. I just changed this so that I had 5 different colors for instructional purposes. Now we can see here that price is coming back. I'll switch over to the other one again. These dotted lines and the white and the blue are quicker than the other lines on the other strategy. So they turn a lot quicker. These dotted ones here is part of my arc indicator that I use, and I use this more for exit only. So let's see. Okay, so I'm going to click that one off. So while I'm in a trade here. Not if I was in this trade, I'd be just using the blue and the white one. Then I've got some change coming. Turn the 2 arcs back on. Okay, so those are my 2 arcs. And then I can actually, if I was in a trade, I would turn this one off. Now I'm waiting for a crossover here, and that would just show me to get out. But the whole instructional purpose of this video is to show you that, okay, so now I've got an orange crossover. I don't know if you see that. So the orange has crossed over. So now I'm looking for this to come down. Let's turn that other arc back on. And then I would wait for the turn back up, because this is now showing me that the direction has changed from this long slopey downward trend, which kind of terminated at this point, to slowly come back up. And the price is now moving up. But I can't initiate a trade until these cross over. Now they have. Can't yet. These lines have to cross over to the upside before I initiate a buy. So let's just see if we're going to. It's late in the day. This is beyond my trading time normally, but this is actually a really good example. And this big run up actually even helped in the instruction of this because a lot of people get into buying into this one here. So now I'm waiting. That pullback is coming. I got my two long-term ones in because these ones on this trading strategy run quicker than the three EMAs. I get a quick return or crossover than I would on the other ones, the other strategy. So sometimes the longer term will set up first. With the other trading strategy, the three EMAs tend to set up first, and then the long term comes into effect. I mean, if you go back and take a look here, you could say that that was also true here in the sense that the shorter term set up. But that's not the point I want to make. You only make trades based on your longer term one. So this must be in place and these must be in place. At times this one will cross over and these are already in place. Then you can actually take your trade as long as everything is pointing in the right direction. So our fastest moving one here is yellow. The next fastest moving one is the magenta. Then I have the blue and the white on a little bit of a slower crossover. I don't really want to get into explaining what these lines are right yet. I'll do a video on that later, exactly what they are. But it's based on my arc. So the arc stands for roller coaster. So we're getting a bit of a crossover here. I really want to wait for that blue to cross up over the white, to be honest. Because you can get into a little bit of an up and down, especially this time of day. Not a good time to trade. You get these little pushes like that, but don't normally get anything. I mean, that push was reasonably substantial, to tell you the honest truth. What do we got? Yeah, $30. Like, that's a pretty huge push. But to be on the safe side, man, you got to sit on your hands at times. Would you have made money on this? If you jumped in properly, I guess. But if you want to always err on the side of caution, wait for these lines to cross over properly. We'll get the white or the blue to cross up over the white. Flipping over here, they're kind of jockeying or flipping back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The white is up, blue's dropping a bit. So now here I can actually initiate my little box because we have a box point here. Just extend that and put the candle bodies in the box. And we'll see. We got to close up above this box, and especially this point right here. And our lines are lined up properly, all five of them. Well, not five, I guess it's what, there's six in this strategy. But because I'm waiting on the trade to enter, I'm not so concerned about the dotted ones as I am the two solid, the blue and the white. And that blue needs to be above white on a close. And then hopefully at the same time, because I do have it open, the yellow would be above the magenta. And this is kind of the time of day where things just kind of really drop off, so nothing may happen here. But it still demonstrates the way that I trade. That I have a 35 SMA, a 28 SMA. These ones here, I can't really tell you what they are right now because I'd get into a long-winded explanation, and we'll do that in another video. Okay, so price is trying to come out of the box area to get that close of this one here above, but it's so marginally tiny in a move, I may just extend the box. Now this is the bottom parameter of the box, I can't change that. If this one closes like that and price closes in the box, I'll extend the top of the box up to here. But we'll wait and see what happens here. Because we've got pretty sideways movement going right here, right now. What is going on? You got 3 seconds, 2, 1, 0, new. And okay, so it closed inside the box. So I'm going to move the top parameter of the box to the close here. Or close and open here. See what happens here now. Really, it's just what, 3:30, exactly right dead on. And it could just dribble sideways literally for the next hour and a half. So there's a little bit of a ploy going on to get people to put in sell orders. And then what they do right after people fill up on the institutional flow charts with some sells, once they see some sells, a bunch of sells come in, then they just jerk the price back the other way. And how they actually do that is that they'll put large quantity orders up here in this area. They put them up in here. And then that, even though those are limit orders, so they're only willing to buy if price comes up to this area, but that still affects the market overall. Okay, so we still got over 30 seconds to go on this candle. So that one had snuck out a bit. So I wouldn't be buying in this one yet. And here we have some good solid points. We have the highest point reached with recent price action. So we can draw in a bit of a trend line this way and go to center of the candle close, center of the candle close if I can. And that's pretty much my trend. So let's see if it comes back up this way. And if this continues to rise, then I can bring my box this way, leave the top parameter of the box here, and this becomes the new bottom of the box parameter. So as price moves along, I can move my box along too. I think it's probably, that's what's going to take place here. Now, I can't lose too much focus. I have to stay true to what I'm actually looking for, and that has to do with the blue and the white crossover. So, because these are pointing up, the two quicker, the blue and the white one, need to also have crossed over and be pointing up. At that point, at the close of a candle, I initiate a trade to the buy side. That's how we run. Let's see how big a lot we got. This over here, yeah, it's 0.5. Let's just knock this down to 0.25. So this is just a quarter lot. Every dollar move is going to be equal to $25. And yes, doing this type of a career slash job slash a form of income, you really have to have the patience of a fisherman, because you really need to sit and wait and be absolutely as patient as you can be. And as long as you have that patience, you will make money. If you just placing orders to try and grab money, you won't. Once these lines line up, and I think that's the biggest thing I'm trying to impress upon people, is once these lines line up, your odds of a successful trade go way, way, way up. Like 7, 8, 9 times out of 10. I put on 10 trades in a row, and they've all hit where I've made profit. Now, does it mean it's a 100% trading strategy? Hell no. Hell no. Human error is the biggest detractor of being profitable. The next one is those two little dotted lines there. Take money out of your pocket pretty quick. The institutions are right there in line two to take money out of your pocket. So we're going to dip even further. See now, because price is going down, we can take a look at that trend line. We can see that trend line is not really true because these two candles here really stand up above and away from everything. And you can see here, let me move this out of the way. I'll move this forward over here. And you can really see that the close of this candle here is really almost the top of our box. So this was kind of like a misnomer where they wanted and they were getting people in and buying. So now they're bringing this back down so that they can trigger their stops and take their money. My long-term SMAs are still showing that I'm looking for an upside trade. I'm just waiting for these lines to do something that are going to indicate that I really should put on a buy. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm waiting for. Let's open this up a little bit so I can see my color codes over here on the right-hand side. You know, the old statement of patience is a virtue, but in this game, it's patience equals money, earned income. Okay, so if I look over here, price is running a bit above things, which is actually good. That's what we want. The blue is above our white. And the yellow is above the magenta. So on the close of this one, do I put a buy on? I think so. So we're going to put on buy. Would have actually liked to come out of this box because I could just dribble down again. But my color coding is actually in place. And let's zoom in here a little bit so I can show you a little closer. See the quick lines have opened up like the fingers of a hand. And the more that they get spread open, the better it is. Now, if I don't get a close here in a couple of minutes, I just close the trade out. I'll take a small loss. I'm not worried about it. What I don't want is for it to plummet back down here while my long ones are out. And that can happen, and it does. I mean, get into something that just pops up here, and then boom, you got one candle that just plummets. And that's why once I get up to a certain point, I've got my finger on the trigger over here on the X, and then I just push my enter button. So it's push X, push enter, the trade is closed. Because if you just push the X, it's going to come up, there's a screen going to come up and ask you to confirm your choice. So you want to go X, enter real quick. It's like I want out and I want out now. So it's like out and yes. Actually, I can do that right now. I can just push S and you can see close the position. But you don't want to waste the time. So that's why I push X and I use the enter button of my keyboard. We're running into 20 minutes on this. Price is going back the other way. If that blue one does cross, well, we're going to crossover of the quicker one, which is an initial attractor to staying in this trade. If the blue crosses down across the white, I would exit the trade as well. So we get our trigger finger back on the trigger itself to close. Now our box has kind of gotten a little bit tinier. So push this ahead, get the bottom. Now we've got this top here. Right now I'm just really focusing on the blue and the white line for a cross. Oh, there we go. We got our cross. And there's really no sense in hanging around because this one will just turn down. Center, right. So I just got out of that trade. It was only a small loss. Nothing too major. Let's check and see what that loss was. $170. Big deal. Nothing to cry or spill milk about. So because of my long term are still set up this way, I'm still only looking for buys. So I'm still waiting for this to turn back up. It's actually really getting too late in the day for anything. Oh, well, look at that. See, I could have sat in that trade. Eh. I mean, I'm just doing this more for demonstration, illustration purposes. So I want you guys to really always err on the safe side of caution, like we can see here. And if this turns back up, right, I'll move my box ahead again. I have to keep this in position properly, but I can move the bottom of it to the close of this one here and the open of this candle right here. I'm not going to let this video go beyond 30 minutes. That's getting a little bit long. Now, you may say these videos are boring. Welcome to trading. Like I said, if you can endure the boredom of sitting and watching the candles, it's just a lot like watching grass grow in a sense, but watching that grass grow can earn you some really big bucks if you're patient enough. As a kid, I used to watch the sportsman shows with my dad. It was my dad that was watching, but I'd get in there and I'd sit and watch with him. So we got a dip going where the guys would go out and fish for the marlins. And, as a kid, I always called them the sail fins. But those guys would be out there for a long, long time before they even, got into hooking up a marlin to start and spend 2, 3, 4, 5 hours reeling in. So this is dipping pretty good. And if I go back and I open my box back up a little bit, I can see kind of where my box is a little bit better situated here. Because I was just looking at the fact that I'm really seeing price just kind of going sideways in this small region. That's why I did. Now from this region here, if I was to draw a box on that, that's going to be a bit higher than this current one. Let's just do that for show. So we do this, stretch this out over here. Well, I think I'm actually going to end this video here because it's getting too close. I got other things that I need to do shortly here, so this is dropping, and it's not a trade that I can put on based on plain simple fact that my 2 long-term ones are not set up to do a sell. So I have to let that one pass.